Hey, Jon Gomm, happy Monday.
Happy Monday to you too, Muriel.
Thank you. It's really cool to have you here all the way from the UK.
Yeah, it took me so long to get to Nashville, and then we just did it by video link. What are we doing? It's crazy. I didn't really do that. I am still in Yorkshire.
Yorkshire. Yes.
Yorkshire.
Well, before we get going into having you play, and I just wanted to give everyone a little taste of what you do. Can I play a little clip of this? This is a tune called Passion Flower. Okay, here we go. You know, I noticed that the audience, they were like stunned for a moment. They didn't start clapping right away. You know, you were like bent over for a long time before they started clapping. Did you like wonder if they were ever going to
No,
start clapping
it's the
there?
thing where that at the end, that last note kind of fades away, and people want to hear the end of it, kind of it. Or there's always like a pause at the end of that song. Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely. And it's nice. There's two little moments. There's this little silence at the end before the audience do anything, and right at the start when I play that song, it's the one that people are most likely to know of mine. And
Yeah.
it starts with a very particular sound, like a very particular chord, so people can recognize it from just the first moment of the song, and you can hear and feel like the excitement sometimes in the room, and that's really, really awesome. So yeah.
Yeah. It's so neat. So when I first heard you play, that was at Annie McKee's guitar camp. You know, I was really impressed at the originality and the musicality of what you do. I mean, that some people call that, you know, that style, you know, slap and tickle guitar, right? Yeah.
Okay.
And so, but you're not just doing that. You're incorporating your voice into a way that it merges in with the sound of your guitar in this really cool way.
Yeah, so I'm not really. So I kind of think of myself as two different musicians, which are kind of in conflict, really. So I like pop music, and I like songs, you know, that are simple. I grew up listening to, like, everybody in the north of England. Grew up listening to the Beatles, like my mum and dad's music, and then music of my generation was like Oasis and Radiohead and stuff. But I also really love guitar playing for the sake of guitar playing as well. So I love electric guitarists like Jeff Beck and Joe Satriani, and I love acoustic guitarists like Michael Hedges and Robert Johnson, and really super technical players. So the way I tend to make music is that I'll write something, and it'll be really conceptualized pretty fully before I pick up the guitar. So it's a little bit like there's the songwriter who writes the music and the words and all that stuff, and then the guitar player who arranges it for solo guitar or solo guitar and voice if it's not an instrumental song. So the guitar player has always, the golden rule is just don't mess up the song. Okay, so you just have to play the song. But apart from that, I can go pretty nuts with the guitar because the song's already formed.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm generally not in danger of something sounding like just a technical exercise, you know.
Oh,
Hopefully.
not at all. In fact, Seb right here is commenting that, you know, he says, "What a creative and soulful musician." And that's another thing that everyone can tell. It's like your soul is like right out there.
Yeah, I can't really help that. It's again, I grew up going to blues gigs actually, so I don't really play blues. I mean, I can, I guess, but I don't really, you know, not well, but I understand it really well. And I grew up going to watch a lot of blues gigs when I was a kid, and with that kind of music, it's all about that. It's all about just the emotional impact of it. Even the songs don't matter sometimes that much. They can be to quite a strict formula sometimes and be really, really simple. So it's not really about melody or harmony, because there's nothing that's going to necessarily surprise you. It's about the feeling that's put through the rhythm, the vocal performance, the solos, and all of that stuff, which is what really matters. And so yeah, that's really important for me. And I can't really do it any other way. I don't know how to, like, just
Well,
perform, you know.
yeah, you're the way you do it is unique, though I haven't heard anyone quite like you. And you know, when I play guitar, I put my hands here and I squish these fingers down, and then I wiggle these fingers. Have you ever heard about doing it that way?
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I grew up playing classical guitar when I was a kid and just studying all different styles of music. I also get bored incredibly quickly, so I always want to learn some new technique or whatever. And then the problem with doing percussion or lots of different sounds at the same time on one guitar is that when I stop doing it and play simple stuff, like just pick notes or just drum stuff, it feels like, you know, the bass player's gone home and left me high and dry, or the drummer's just gone, or whatever. And where are they? It can feel really empty. So it can get a bit addictive. You know, it's a problem. But it's probably like you with those big bass strings. You know, when you take them away, you miss them, right?
Yeah, on some tunes. You know, you don't need them for everything, but sometimes you just want that, you know.
Yeah, I'm jealous of that. That's my lowest, which is pretty low, but I can't go as deep as you. That's impressive, you know.
Lower than usual. How do you have that tuned?
This is right now this is a B flat on the bottom. So I'm kind of in a pseudo open G banjo tuning with the fourth in the bass. But I actually will change it to like a modal tuning, but keep that fourth in the bass. That's one of my favorite tunings, although I don't actually use the same tuning very often, more than once, because, you know, I like to just constantly be experimenting. Yeah. So
do you have Scruggs tuners or hip shots or something?
Yeah, I have Scruggs tuners, exactly. Yeah. So they're Keith pegs. So Bill Keith designed ones, which are, you know, the best Scruggs pegs out there. So I got it from watching Adrian Legg, my fellow English guitar player, and he uses the Scruggs pegs a lot. But I had this idea that, so I saw him doing it, and I just had this idea that because he's restricted and he can only really change the tuning of open strings, or sometimes he'll play harmonics. But I can do. I do a lot of tapping and stuff, and I figured that, well, if I'm tapping a note, then I can actually change the note that I'm playing and then tune that, or I can change chords and stuff that Adrian wouldn't be able to do unless he started doing tapping, which I can't imagine him ever doing because he's much too refined and restrained and individual. You know, he didn't go through
and you're not
a Steve Vai phase, and I'm quite the opposite. Yeah. So it's so it was just a thing that I kind of decided to try, and then they're actually really expensive, these Keith pegs. You know, for pegs, they're like the most expensive ones you can get. They're very, very clever and very fancy though, and well worth it. But I could only, when I decided to buy some, I could actually only afford 2. I couldn't afford to get 6, and then I just never bothered to. They're actually a real pain as well. They're a nightmare in a lot of ways. You know, they come unlocked and they go out of tune, and they're much worse. They're much less reliable than just regular guitar tuners. So I didn't want to get 6. It's just.
So you only have 2.
So I only have 2 Scruggs pegs, and the rest of them are just regular guitar pegs. Yeah, which has become a thing now, that you see guitarists with these 2 pegs, and it's become a little thing that people do. It's weird. You can buy them now if you go on the Bill Keith Banjo Pegs website. You can get like the guitar set, which is just the top 2 strings. You know, it's weird.
Yeah, it's kind of like on my Super Trebles. When on this guitar, it has these extra trebles, and I was walking on the stage and broke one once, and I just never put it back on again. I just kind of liked it better with 7 instead of 8, and so it's been that way ever since. You know. So.
Yeah, I think it's sometimes just those little things are what makes something interesting and also just unique to you, and you can have your own unique approach, you know, and it's better that way. And sometimes people ask me, like, they want to know exactly what setup I use and what frets I use and every single thing about my setup and my pickups and all that stuff, and I say, yeah, that's okay, but you don't need to have that stuff. And a better starting point might be just to see what you can get hold of and try and experiment with, you know, and discover your own thing.
Yeah. Well, we're having some hellos pop in from France, Colorado, Florida, eastern the U.S., and Montana, and I think they'd love to hear you play one live.
Okay.
If you would grace us with that.
Do feel free to join in.
Oh,
to your
okay.
heart's
I'll
content.
throw some random notes, delayed random notes.
I've heard you play before as well. The first time I heard you play was 2004 in Soave in Verona in northern Italy.
Oh, wow.
Do you remember that?
I remember that. That was a
Yeah,
wonderful
so
time.
it was. It was great, and that was my first ever gig outside of England as well.
Wow.
So it was. It was a really big deal for me. It was in like a gym hall. Do you remember? It's like a gymnasium.
Yeah.
It was big, not just a school one, but like a big
Right.
sports centre that they turned into a venue for the festival. But yeah, it was. Yeah, I remember seeing you play, and it was. But I'd seen you before. I'd seen videos, and I was well aware of you already. So, yeah.
That was the most fun, the Suave Festival. And boy, did we eat well.
Yeah, man. Oh, do you know what? I'll never forget. I remember some weird things. So the last night, they made us this special dish, which was just pasta al olio. So it's just like spaghetti with oil
Yeah.
and salt and pepper, and that's it. But they'd made the pasta, and the oil was the best oil, and it was very special. The chef was presenting us all this meal, and there were a couple of English guys there, a bass player and a drummer from one of the bands that was playing, and they just looked at it, this plate of just plain spaghetti with olive oil, and they looked at it, and I could just tell they were going to say it, and I was so hoping they didn't, and they immediately asked for ketchup. Just go with it. And it was just, I'll never get over it. I think it scarred me forever.
Oh,
I was so
yeah.
ashamed. Anyway, I'll play you a song.
Okay.
So this is a song I wrote about becoming a dad and being terrified about that. It's called Cocoon.
Oh.
Oh, okay.
Wrap up her limbs so she can lie, spinning silk around her. Watch her inhaling fireflies, illuminate her from inside. Got to unfurl her wings so she can dry, open to the sun. I cannot bear to watch her fly, reduce my singing to a sigh.
Oh yeah. Oh, that when I first heard that, I said, "Oh, that's about a dad letting go of their daughter," and
Yeah.
just yeah,
You know
and
what? It's
like
just about being terrified, really, about being a parent, about being.
yeah,
It's bad enough if you're kind of an anxious person, and you're worried about your own safety or whatever. That's tricky enough. But when it's a little kid that it's your job to. I mean, fundamentally, it's your job to keep them alive. As a parent, is your very most fundamental important job. And when they're like climbing, they're kind of 2 years old and they're climbing up a climbing frame or something, and it's just awful. It's just awful, and just trying to control your own fear and not pass it on to them.
yeah.
It's
Yeah.
tough, but yeah, it is for me anyway.
Yeah,
But,
well, it captures that song. Yeah,
Thanks.
yeah.
Thanks. Yeah. So, Meryl, I had a lot of fun in Nashville this summer. That kind of week
Oh yeah.
at Andy McKee's Musicarium. But I thanked you already, but I need to thank you again because everybody who's watching your stream, I'm sure knows you and likes you. They wouldn't be watching it, but just so they know. I mean, you were so lovely to me. I was really suffering with a wrist injury. It's getting way better now, but I was in so much pain during my performance, and then it was right at the end of the week. I'd been teaching solidly and playing way too much as well, and then I was in so much pain afterwards. And I'll just never forget you were really helping me and just really trying to make it feel better and just look after me, and I was so grateful.
Oh,
It
just
it
being a
just made
normal
me feel
person.
really so much better. So yeah, thank you so much. It was very kind.
Oh, you're welcome. It's, no, when there's a special person out there,
I'm
everyone's gonna
special,
watch out
that's
for
for sure. I'm definitely
Yeah.
special. Whether that's good or bad, I don't know. But yeah, I had a great time, but it was also really intense. I found it really intense. But you were very calm the whole time, but also incredibly active and incredibly kind of, doing stuff and organising stuff and being really kind of there for all the students in a very teacherly way. And you're obviously a great mentor, and that's really awesome as well. I'm a terrible teacher. I'm quite good at kind of doing a masterclass or a workshop. Very enthusiastic, but if I was teaching somebody as a pupil, people ask me to do that, quite a lot, and to become their teacher regularly, but I can't, because I can't help somebody progress in that way, because I just don't have the attention span. I get too bored.
Well, you've taken such an individual path in your music.
Yeah, I don't really have a choice, really. So yeah. But have you? I mean, I used to just play in pubs and stuff for years and years and years, and play a mixture of my own stuff and playing covers, and I was pretty happy doing that. I mean, it's hard. It's a hard graft, as we say in England. It's hard work and just slogging away there. Did you ever do that? Were you ever back in the day just playing bars or?
Oh yeah. I played in a hotel lobby for 6 years. Well, people completely ignored me for the most part.
But you know what?
And so
It's
that was
funny it's a funny thing, because it can actually be quite nice, I think. Most of the gigs I did weren't like that. They were more in pubs. So it was, people would ignore you, but sometimes they wouldn't. And sometimes it was better when they did, you know? But but when you're playing those kind of really background music-y gigs, you're kind of just practicing. And
well, to a certain extent, but I found that when I was playing that, and if I didn't have an audience, it's something like if you're trying to give a speech and people have their back to you, and as I was playing, my hands would get tired, my back would get tired, but as soon as a group of people would sit down in front of me and actually listen, no sore back, my hands felt fine, I had a lot more energy, and then I realized, I'm a performer, I need that energy.
You need to feel valued, I think, in any
Yeah,
job, really.
I think
it's
so.
really important to feel valued no matter what it is,
But
and as a
there were
musician,
dues
it's quite
paying.
hard, I think.
Yeah.
Because it's inherently kind of, the value, you really have to be reminded of it, because you're not doing something where it's necessarily all that obvious that you're doing any good, you know. So it's do you know what I mean? It's like you need that appreciation to know that what you're doing has a worth, you know, and is pointful. So yeah, it's a strange life, you know.
Yeah, well, I had a double life because in addition to that, I was playing with a bluegrass band. So I played 6 years with a bluegrass band, and we would play clubs in the south side of Chicago that would just have a Schlitz sign out front. That's the only
What's the
way you would
Schlitz
know
sign?
it. And there
don't know
would be
what that is,
chicken
Muriel.
wire.
Okay.
Literally chicken wire there. People would be throwing things sometimes.
What, like their underwear? like a Tom Jones concert? No?
But we had some people who would come to see us, including a group of Italian Catholic priests and the seminarians studying, and they brought their Father Superior from Italy there. It's when he first arrived, and so as he arrived, there was a lady beating up a man in front of the club.
So why are you playing bluegrass on the south side of Chicago?
You know, that's where the banjo player was the booking agent, and that's where she found the gigs, you know.
'Cause I've been to the south side of Chicago, and I've never seen any bluegrass. I've seen a lot of blues
Except
and
for
hip-hop.
us.
I mean, I do love bluegrass. I love Del McCrory.
Oh, yeah.
He's amazing. And then I don't know if you're aware of Chris Thiele.
Yes.
So
Wonderful.
I've met him a
Wonderful
couple of times, and I think he's probably the best living musician, which is a bold claim. But
he was
he's
a little boy when we were
He's a genius, was
first
he?
playing there. He was so young when we first were out playing with the
Well,
the
it's
bluegrass
not just his
band.
technical facility, which is just unlimited, but it's also just his musical. He just goes anywhere. He understands every kind of music and can play any kind of music.
Yeah.
And his songwriting is incredible. His voice is incredible, and he's also one of the nicest people I've ever met in my entire life. I have a text on my phone which I will never delete. I need to just take a photo of it or something, which just says right at the end of his last gig that I went to see, which was I guess earlier this year. He came to the UK, and I told him I was coming and put me on the list and stuff. And then literally about 60 seconds after he went off stage, I just got a text from Chris just saying, "Hug time," and that's all it said. It's like I have to go backstage for my Chris Thiele hug that I was now going to be specially given. But yeah, he's a genius. Yeah.
We have a couple of questions. David asked, "Why is the brace on the left hand?"
It's not a brace. It's just a glove to keep it warm. It's just like
good.
a really thin glove. That's all. I had I tore a ligament in my wrist. I spent a fortune trying to figure out if it was something else because took a very long time to get better. But yeah, so there's nothing else. Because I was checking if it was tendons or bones or whatever. But but I've spent a fortune on scans and it's fine. So yeah, but I tore a ligament doing Jeet Kune Do, which is a martial art, which is a very stupid thing, and I haven't been since. I've stopped doing it, which is very sad. But I think I'm too old for that stuff now. So yeah, but it's pretty much better now.
Oh, that's good. That's excellent. Yeah, we have a couple of pasta recipes that people are passing back and forth also in the text if you want to look at
pasta recipe. Yeah, well, pasta al olio is one of the toughest ones to make, but yeah. Play the Radiohead song, somebody says. I'll play a Radiohead song if they want.
Oh, okay. Yeah, do that.
Somebody's got pain in their right shoulder from reaching over. Oh man. Yeah, that's a tough
from
one.
this.
That's a really
I used
tough
to
one.
have that too.
Okay,
I got
So
this. It's
like a classical player, yeah.
If you're sitting, some sort of a brace to hold it up, a neck up or something that lifts the guitar.
So with this guitar, so I designed this guitar.
Oh.
Well, I designed it as much as I can without being a luthier, you know. And one of the things that we did with it, because this is a big guitar, and for me it's no problem because I'm very freakishly designed person. I have very, very long arms and legs, like a gibbon. And it's no problem for me to, reach over a big guitar. But you can you can get bevels and stuff, but it doesn't really fix the problem in your shoulder. The bevel will just stop it rubbing on your forearm. So what we did with this guitar is we changed the shape of it. So I don't know if you can really tell just from looking at it, but it's not. So a guitar basically should be a little circle and a big circle. That's what a guitar is, right. like a figure eight. But with this one, it's wonky. So this side is much shallower, and then it sticks out here. So it's kind of fat here and much shallower here. So the bit that you have to reach over is smaller. So it's an asymmetrical design, but it's much more comfortable to hold for a big guitar. So yeah, buy one of these Ibanez JGM models, and then it will fix your back and your marriage and anything else that needs fixing. But it's I do think about those things quite a lot, because it's not good for you playing guitar sometimes.
Well, let's play another tune then.
Okay. Well, we had a request which is unexpected, so I'm going to play a Radiohead song.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna. I have to tune. I need a capo. Hang on. And when I put this capo on, it should leave me, I think. I think it's going to leave me in. D, right? Yeah. So it's actually you can actually play along without having to.
How about that? Yeah, I could even change my low note here.
It's just 3 chords, this song.
Oh, that's like a bluegrass tune.
So it's like E minor. And D, that's the whole song. Okay.
Spitting you, and you will be the one screaming
was fun.
That was beautiful, Muriel. Thanks very much. That was really nice. You sounded in time as well to me. I mean, you've clearly mastered the art of jamming over StreamYard.
Jamming
over streaming,
over the sea, across the sea.
Yeah.
Well, I just have to remember not to start strumming, and not to get excited.
Just keep it
check
keep it rubato and keep it
rubato, right?
Definitely.
Well, I have something to show you. This is what we did yesterday. I went over to the next door neighbor's house, and the two little girls, and I put together our first versions of Sailing Dreams, the board game that goes together with my upcoming CD, which we finished mastering day before yesterday.
That's amazing. And you have a board game.
A board game, yes. So in here, so we wanted to get it all made in the USA and to stay away from plastic. So we have wooden experience sticks. Let me see. We get a bigger screen here so you can see this. All right. So yeah. Now these wooden tokens are for both good and bad experiences, which account for the same in this game because they're both fodder for good tales to tell. And then there's also there's two winners, also the one that gets the most fish and lobsters. So we put together those. We have your experience cards. The spinner, which is the point of sale, and piece of string.
Did you design the game, Muriel?
Brian and I did. And this is in case you need to tie a sailor's knot. Brian trimmed the end of this and fixed it with a candle flame.
A challenge that you might be presented with while playing the game is that you have to tie a knot.
Yes, you have to tie a knot sometimes, right. And
wow,
then this
love it. There's something about maps, like especially for kids, where they're really just really intriguing if you can kind of get involved with them. Like when you read like a Tolkien book, like Lord of the Rings or whatever, and it has the map at the start of the place. Loads of fantasy books have that, and it's those maps. I used to spend hours poring over them. You can really imagine all the different places. It's really exciting.
Yes, and those are the places that we went on the sailing trip that inspired the album. And so I sing about all those places in the album. And and my guest singer Susie Boggess is singing with me. Tommy Emmanuel sings a sailorly part on one tune.
Oh, I bet he got really, really stuck in. Did he come wearing like a sailor's hat for the session or anything like that?
He did it during sound check. It's like,
did he?
It's like, yeah. I
think I can imagine Tommy as a sailor.
Yeah.
I totally can.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be a sailor. I'd be a pirate, no doubt.
Well, I do have a pirate in there. So I wrote a song about the time that Brian and I happened to be anchored right next to an 1871 schooner. Mm-hmm. And so I told it was a boat, looked like something out of a movie. It was incredible. When the fog lifted, there it was. And so I said, Brian, let's row over and take over the ship. And so we rowed over in our little dinghy, and we had nothing but just my guitar on my back as a weapon. And then when we rowed over there, we said, we're taking over the ship. And so the guy came over to the side. He said, I'm Captain Noah, and I need a day off, so come on board. And so we climbed up the rigging, and here we were on this historic schooner. And I took my guitar out and started to play, and Captain Noah grabbed a guitar out of the cabin and started playing harmonica and guitar. He's a blues player. Like, who would have thought it?
That's
and
amazing.
We played until the sun went down. So I decided, well, I got to write a blues and call it Captain Noah. So Phil Keggy helped me out with it.
It's incredible that he's called Noah as well. I'm wondering what was in the hold of this schooner.
We asked him what.
Maybe he had two of every breed of dog, like two Chihuahuas, two Alsatians.
So Yeah, it was any of this, and then the song was all about that. So I said, okay, I need to have somebody who can sing like a pirate now. So I called Mark Kibble, lead singer from Take Six, a cappella group. I told him, try to see if you can sing like a pirate. And so he did this fantastic job. He kept it on.
You do know, Muriel, there's a whole genre of music called pirate metal.
Oh, is there?
Yeah.
Hey, I've missed my calling.
Yeah, there's a whole genre. It's just a subgenre of metal called pirate metal.
Pirate metal.
I'm trying to remember the name of one of the popular bands. I think there's one called like Ahoy or something. But yeah, they're fun. They're fun. It's very niche, I would imagine.
Yeah, when we get together, we'll play the game. So
I would love that. I would love that. It's a tough business designing a board game. I can't imagine doing that. I do artwork, so I like to draw. So I would do all artwork to go with stuff that I release, and I just designed. I sometimes draw kind of musicians that I like, and I decided to draw a self-portrait recently for a try. I tried it, and people liked it, so I've just released like a series of like T-shirts and art prints and stuff. So it's it's fun. I draw all the kind of artwork for not everything that I release, but a lot of the stuff that I release, I do. Yeah. So, but not board games. I haven't gone that far yet.
Oh yeah. Well, if somebody wants to get a Jon Gomm T-shirt, can they get one?
You can buy a Jon Gomm phone case.
Oh.
You can buy a Jon Gomm baby. We call it a baby grow in England, like a little one-piece baby vest.
Oh.
If you want.
Okay.
On my website. Yeah.
Great.
So there's all kinds of. I have merch. A lot of merch.
Awesome. And music too, I bet.
Yeah. I do have a few albums out. I'm working on some new stuff at the moment, but I've been working on some covers. So instrumental. So it's a thing, especially with what we call modern fingerstyle. So stuff where people are doing extended techniques or whatever. And there's a lot of people do instrumental arrangements of covers of pop songs or whatever. And it's massive on YouTube, TikTok, and all of that. Yeah. And I've never really done that much of that, but and I don't really necessarily like what people are doing that much. It can be they can just become technical showcases rather than any kind of interpretation of the original song. It sounds like the person maybe doesn't even like the original song that much. It's just a vehicle for them to play guitar. So I decided I would do some. So I've been doing some arrangements. I've arranged a Ukrainian folk song, actually. I arranged kind of a couple of pop songs, mostly from 80s. I arranged a Joni Mitchell song and a Bjork song just for instrumental guitar. And so I'm going to record those as soon as possible and get those released. So that's my current project.
Oh, cool. Well, nice to talk to a superstar here and what you're doing. And before we sign off, is there? I should answer some more questions. We're getting some that are popping in here. Do either of you still record for vinyl, not only CD? Have you done vinyl, John?
Yeah, I did my last album on vinyl. You can still get it. We sold out of one version, but not the other version. I can't remember. So yeah, my last album, we did it it wouldn't quite fit onto a single vinyl, so we did it on double vinyl. So it's got it's two discs, but on the B side of the second disc, so side D, there's no music. There's just an etching. So you know how they etch obviously the grooves into the record. Well, they can etch anything you want. So we got them to etch one of the illustrations from the album into the actual record itself, which is pretty cool. It was pretty exciting. So I did my last album. It's called The Faintest Idea, and that's available on vinyl.
Cool.
But yeah, it's interesting. I do love vinyl, but it's very, very expensive, and it's incredibly heavy. I'm sure you've noticed, Muriel, if you ever want to try and take vinyl on the road. My God.
Well, we're going to be taking board games on the road.
I think
don't know if that's any better.
Worse. I think board games are probably quite a good idea. I don't think they're probably too heavy. It's really awesome. It's like a whole interactive experience. Does the music tie in with the board game? Do you listen
Yes,
as you play?
absolutely.
Like
Even some of the
specific things?
questions on the cards, there's multiple choice questions. Some are about the music, and some are about sailing, and some are about the location. So you learn a little bit about everything.
That's really amazing. That's really exciting. Wow, that's so cool. Yeah, you must feel really proud of
No,
that.
it's going to be fun. I can't wait to see what the response is going to be, to see how people enjoy it and what thoughts they have
That's
on
a
it.
great idea. So I think it's you already win. You know,
Oh,
because it's just such a great idea. It's just so exciting and endearing and original. I never heard of that before.
well, I wanted to have it done for my annual concert. I do a concert. It'll be my 32nd annual concert in my hometown of Downers Grove, Illinois.
Okay.
So that's. I wanted to have some copies available for the pre-release there.
That's really exciting. Yeah. So you moved a long way from home then.
Oh, let's see, not that far. Nashville to Chicago area isn't.
Or is it not? My geography's pretty poor.
Yeah,
Sorry.
it's a full day's drive. Yeah, it's about an 8-hour
Well,
drive.
I'm in England. You can't drive anywhere. If you drive anywhere for a full day, then you are in the ocean. It's just
Right.
as simple as that.
Okay, I guess in American standard, but I go back and visit my parents quite frequently. So even with that,
That's really cool. Yeah.
short flight, you know. And we have some thank yous for playing the Radiohead song. People love that. And
That's cool. Yeah. I'm looking at some of the comments now. Cars? No way. So Neil from Clearwater is claiming that Cars in the 50s and 60s had a record player set into the dashboard, a vinyl record player set into the dashboard of the car.
no,
How would it
can't
not
be.
skip all the time? How would the needle constantly not be? I believe you, Neil. I don't want to sound like I don't believe you, but it is. I'm gonna have to look that up now.
Yeah.
It sounds pretty extraordinary. Just the sheer size of it. I really want to see that. And then will I please come and play in Florida? I would love to. I've never done a proper tour in the States.
Yeah.
Partly because I've never been able to get a visa for different reasons. But I'm hoping that'll come next year. Now I have this Ibanez signature model guitar. I think maybe I'm going to come over
Sure.
and do a clinic tour.
Yeah, time to do
Because
that.
then Ibanez can sort out the visa. I don't have to try and do it. Yeah.
And there's another question: are we going to be at the NAMM show? Are you planning to come to NAMM show?
No,
in
not this.
June?
I was there this year, but I won't be there in 2024. It's January. Is it? I don't even know. when it
January,
is.
yes.
Yeah,
And I
but
will
I'm
be
not-
in the area. I will be in Los Angeles at that time. I don't have any specific, plans
Basically,
for it,
yeah,
but
you
I'll
need a
probably
reason,
stop
don't you?
by.
As a
Yeah.
musician, you need a reason. You need somebody you need an anchor point at the show.
Yeah.
And it's usually some manufacturer of some kind of gear.
Yeah, I'll
Otherwise, I
I'll
feel a
see if
bit
I can
lost.
locate it if anyone wants me to come there. But the Sunday after NAMM, during Sunday afternoon, the last day of NAMM, I'm doing a guitar night in Claremont, California. So that's a half-hour drive from
So-
the NAMM show.
So, who are your favourite people that you ever have come and play at these guitar? Well, I maybe shouldn't ask you that because you don't want to have favourites.
Well, I think I would like for you to come and play.
Oh, yeah, well, that wasn't what I was asking for, but I would always love to. But there's videos like, Tommy is obviously,
No, he's
just an incredible performer and
Yeah.
just, he's off the charts.
Yeah.
And he's got that kind of crazy intensity as well. And
Yeah.
he's kind of like the Jim Carrey of the acoustic guitar world, I would say. He's got that big grin, which is incredibly endearing and sometimes a little bit frightening at the same time. And it's just a unrestrained enthusiasm. But yeah, I don't know. You've had some obviously incredible guitarists there over the years. Is there
Oh, yeah.
anybody that you haven't had that you would really love to have?
Mark Knopfler. Well, no, we did have Mark once. He did the year that we did the all virtual performances, so he was there virtually with us.
Okay. So
So,
Mark Knopfler and
Mark
I
joined us.
have a very close mutual friend who died a couple of months ago.
Ah.
And he was, in fact, he's called Brendan Croker. He was in the Notting Hillbillies, which was Mark's band other than Dire Straits. And Mark was supposed to come to the funeral actually last month, but he couldn't come in the end. Literally his train was cancelled because we live in England and everything's broken. And he couldn't make it. He was supposed to come up until the day. It was which is really sad. But we're going to do some kind of memorial concert, so he will be invited to play. I don't know if he will or not, because obviously he's a very big deal. But actually the first time I met you in Suave in 2004, it was Brendan Croker who'd taken me over to play. You know, we lived in the same city, and he took me over to play. And Brendan was a really amazing singer, songwriter, guitarist. And there was basically the three of them was Mark Knopfler, Brendan Croker, and Steve Phillips. There were three of my absolute childhood idols as guitarists. And when I met Brendan, he was touring with the Notting Hillbillies, so he was going out and playing huge shows with Mark Knopfler. And then me and him would do a gig in a pub in Leeds in Yorkshire together, like the week after. And people would just be, we'd just be playing in the background, but having fun playing together and stuff. Yeah, and I learned so much from that man, from Brendan. And I'm sure Mark Knopfler learnt a lot from Brendan as well, because there's no way you could not do, because he was a master of the art of performing music, and he taught me a lot. So he taught me how to kind of silence any room. Not all night, but you could be in a room of people who are just ignoring you, and if you want to, you can grab their attention, stuff. It's it may not end well, but it may, and it's worth a try sometimes. So yeah, it's he taught me about making every song a little world, is how he always described it. And I always really, really felt that afterwards. Every time I wrote a new song, I wanted it to feel like a place that you would go to and inhabit, just for a moment. And he would describe music as, people say music is like architecture, but he would describe it as like a building or like a room that you go into, but it's moving all the time. It's changing all the time. It's not static like architecture. It's moving around you, and you don't have to tell your own story as you walk through it. It changes around you as you just sit there, and it's like being inside a dream. If you do it right, then it's, for the audience, it's like being inside a dream. So that's why I've always tried to live up to that legacy. So there you go. Maybe you'll get Mark Knopfler one day.
Somebody else mentioned Leo Kottke. Oh, he's just delightful. I remember I did a guitar night show at the Woodstock Opera House once, and after the show, we went. All of us guitar players went out for beer, and we were all sitting around the table, and we realized that at one point, every one of us at the table had won the National Fingerpicking Championship, except for Leo Kottke. But we let him sit with us anyway, right?
It's kind of rendered worthless in a way. It's like, I won this great thing, but this guy never won it. Oh, well, that's rubbish.
No, it just I love his sense of humor and just
that's amazing. I've had some funny. I haven't had many awards, or I've never entered any competitions really that I can think of, but I got given a Lifetime Achievement Award by a guitar festival in Ireland last year.
Fantastic.
And it was amazing, because they made an award. I have it on my shelf over there. They made an award which was, I have a guitar case that I don't use it anymore because it's falling apart, but it was covered in stickers that people had given me, from all their different bands and artists, and they made an award, a ceramic thing, which is a replica of my guitar case with the stickers on it, and I couldn't believe it, like a real award. And I put it on. I told my friends about it, and all they said was, "What a Lifetime Achievement Award! Wow, you're really old now. You must be so old to get a Lifetime Achievement Award." And I hadn't even thought of that. It was so just made it something really amazing into just, oh God, that's really depressing.
Well, we want to wish everyone happy Thanksgiving coming up. We've got one more show before Thanksgiving. Next week we're going to have the Small Potatoes as my special guest. They're also going to be my special guest at Saturday after Thanksgiving show. So, any last greetings and salutations?
I'll
John,
say hello
from
to
you?
my mum. She won't be watching now because it's 1 a.m. in the UK, but she watches everything that I ever do ever, so she will be watching the recording of the stream tomorrow or within the next couple of days. So, hi mum. I need to say hello to her, but
Nice.
I just want to say hello to everybody who's been watching, all of your fans and followers, and thanks for your questions and making me feel welcome and joining in with the conversation and all of that stuff. Thank you very much.
We did have someone say that their mother would have patched up those holes in your blue jeans.
Yeah.
Yes, right.
I always have a lot of holes in my clothes, and also I had a mohawk in that photo, which I don't. My mum hated my mohawks so much. I shaved it off, a few months ago, partly because I was coming to Nashville and I was worried about getting through immigration enough as it is without having a mohawk.
Right.
So, yeah, I cut it off, but it's. I would like to meet his mum. She sounds like she sounds a bit like my mum.
Great. Well, let's play us out with one of your recordings. This is Deep Sea Fishes.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah, that's
Yeah,
kind of
it's
the
a love
nautical
song.
theme.
It's a love song about fish. Yeah, and it's my only
Yeah.
nautical song that I can think of, so it's a good choice.
Okay, great. Well, thanks so much, John, for joining us.
Thank you, Muriel. Thank you
thank
so
you.
much. So awesome
right.
to spend time with you.
Yeah, likewise. We'll do it live for real.
Loneliness is living when you're swimming in the gloom. Everywhere is silent, nothing is ever new. Underwater comet, I fly so gracelessly. Open my eyes for a moment. Just to check, I still can't see. We are deep sea fishes, beautiful to nobody. We are navigating nowhere. Blindly through infinity. A single point of glowing, a beacon in the dark. The signal of the hunter, I can't read the same mark. The distant shape is growing, a ghostly yellow light. Oh, water slowly flowing. Take me to my love tonight. We are deep sea fishes, beautiful to nobody. We are navigating nowhere, blindly through infinity. The fluttering of thermals holds us warm and close. The things that seem eternal are the things that change the most. Your deep sea fishes, beautiful only to me. You're navigating nowhere, together through infinity. Your deep sea fishes, your deep sea fishes, your deep sea fishes.
So long.